Hello everybody, Captain Marty here. It is Friday, September the 26th, and a lot of things changing as we head into the weekend. A lot of folks keeping their eyes down on the southeast for these storms, and some interesting things in our fishing report today. I'll be back to bring you up to date in just a moment. Hey y'all, Captain Marty here to tell you that when my friends are in the market for a new boat engine or repair, I send them to the best, and that's at Ratcliffe Marine in Belhaven. Ratcliffe Marine is your official Suzuki outboard dealer. Suzuki motors are designed to get you on the water fast and get you back to the dock whenever you're ready. Ratcliffe Marine is also the largest repower center in North Carolina. So when you're in the market for a new motor or you need your Suzuki serviced, go to Ratcliffe Marine, 865 Highway 264 in Belhaven.
Hi, I'm LB Daniels, and when you want great local seafood, you go to Fresh Catch Seafood in Wanchese. How do I know it's great? My daddy is one of the fishermen that brings it to the docks. At Fresh Catch Seafood, you will get local seafood right from their fish house. They are a family-owned business that knows the name of every fisherman that comes to their docks. Visit their social media pages to see the latest catches. My daddy would love to put his tuna on your dinner plate, so get it now from Fresh Catch Seafood in Wanchese.
So down in Hatteras, we saw a big slowdown, especially on the sailfish bite they've been having offshore. They did catch some dolphin, they caught some wahoo, and they caught some blackfin tuna. But the sailfish bite, there was only 2 or 3 caught. Over the last few days, there's been over 100 caught. We had even some boats with 17, 18, 19 fish, both Hatteras and Oregon Inlet. But while we're talking about Hatteras, they dropped up inside some of their inshore or nearshore boats, did really good, and continue to do good on Spanish mackerel and bluefish. Ben Harding caught a 8.1 pound Spanish mackerel. That's a really, really nice one. And then we jump up to Oregon Inlet, a much slower day. Yesterday, we were telling you about the fishing on Wednesday for William Howe, who jumped off of his boat, not literally jumped off, but got off of his boat, the drifter, and filled in to run the fin planter. And they went out and set a record. As far as we know, the most sailfish caught in a single day on a boat that went out and returned to Oregon Inlet, 25 sailfish for them in a single day on Wednesday. So what happened yesterday? Everybody went out, turned right, headed south, charged down the beach. Let's get sailfish. And they got down there, no sailfish. Very, very few caught in the Oregon Inlet fleet. Water changed all around, and wasn't the conditions the fish obviously liked the day before. And it was a little bit slower on the mahi fishing too. You still have to be lucky and find something floating. Sargasso, wet, tie line, or bed of grass, old boards, and float. Also, a scattered mixed tuna in both yellowfin and blackfin, and closer to the beach for them, Spanish mackerel, bluefish, and a little bit of sea bass fishing going on there. So then we always like to drop in and talk to you a little bit about the pier fishing. So the Rodanthe Pier, well, let me back up a second. While we're talking about piers, let's start out by talking about this really great drum bite they were having. And that has slowed down a whole lot. There's all kinds of reasons, fascinating reasons, but the drum are everywhere. And we're going to talk a lot about that in our backcountry report in just a minute after the break. But a lot of them are migrating, moving up and down. They're mating. Well, they don't really mate. They spawn. But the big drum back in the sound, a lot of them have headed to the ocean already. But the piers have slowed down a good deal on the big drum bite. However, there's still a lot of 3 to 4 pound bluefish being caught. Jeanette's Pier, they've been working on some false albacore. Occasionally there's some what do you call them? There's just people that are really dedicated to catching a false albacore off the pier. Water temperatures are holding about 73 degrees. Jeanette's had some croakers, some specks, and some sea mullet. So there's stuff to be caught. A lot of smaller stuff over the last few days. A little bit less of the great big bull drum that they were catching. On the surf, it's a nice mix as well, with sea mullet, pompano, and blues, especially on Hatteras Island. But that would continue all up and down the Outer Banks. That's typical for this time of year. And really, it's been reasonably calm. In fact, the charter boats are planning on getting out tomorrow. It's going to be wet and rainy, but most of them have figured out the fish are already wet. So anyway, I think they're going to get out and we'll see what happens. So we'll take a little pause right here. When I come back, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what's going on in the backcountry, so don't go anywhere.
Wave Runner Fishing Charters provides exceptional Outer Banks fishing trips for anglers of all experience levels. Captain Brian White's love for fishing began at age 6 and soon evolved into a lifelong passion. Located at Wanchese Marina, the Wave Runner specializes in offshore and nearshore fishing adventures, offering guests the excitement of pursuing a wide range of pelagic species. They have the best rates in town. Call today at 252-216-8350 or online at fishwaverunnerobx.com.
So as we start our backcountry report, a lot of you know Edward Lee Mann. Edward's been around the fleet a long time, ran the Miss Oregon Inlet, both full and part-time, made it on the Miss Oregon Inlet, one of my longtime sponsors. I'm not sure if he's still doing that or even fishing on the Miss Oregon Inlet right now, but he wasn't yesterday because he went down to Ocracoke in his boat on the sound side and caught a 28-inch, 6-pound speckled trout. That's a really nice one, and we do appreciate Tradewinds Tackle, also one of my sponsors, giving us that information. So, Edward, you ain't never quit fishing. That's a good one, a 28-inch, 6-pound speckled trout. Something else that's a little out of the ordinary. Really nice bite on largemouth bass in the Kitty Hawk Bay. Really good. I saw one 9-pounder come out of there yesterday, and that guy said it was on fire. He preferred for me not to name him, so I won't. But he said the bass bite is really good. These are largemouth bass, not striped bass. So that might be something to consider if it's on fire and he caught a 9-pounder, and you're a bass head. You better get up there and wet a line. And they also had some speckled trout right in the middle of that. So it's brackish water up that way. Evidently, you can get both species. And then I actually had lunch with Captain Dickie Harris. I talk about him a lot. He runs the Fantastic. He's about to retire here at the end of the month after a long career, but he loves to come over to Hyde County and go fishing with Gray Davis of Hyde Guides. And they went out and caught their limit of speckled trout in 30 minutes yesterday. Then they caught several big red drum, and they caught one. He caught two on a speckled trout rod. That's a big battle. It took them a long time, but they caught and released them. And the bite in the sound in the backcountry is just phenomenal. I mean, everywhere. I've been talking to guys that were out of Belhaven, caught 30 the other night. I've been talking to people fishing out of Wanchese, running down their back of Oregon Inlet in the sound, and catching 25, 30, 35, 40 catch and release big red drum. Talking to the guides in Hatteras, running back out during the daytime and catching the slot-sized drum and the big ones if they want them, along with speckled trout and bluefish. And then backside of Ocracoke, it's a good drum bite. The drum are everywhere. It's just really, really encouraging and a lot of fun. So if you're intimidated by getting out on the end of the pier, we'll end with this advice. If you're intimidated about wading into that crowd, which got really large out on the piers, especially when it gets a little rough and the water gets muddied up, which is what the drum like, but you really have that on your bucket list to catch a big drum, I would recommend you find a legitimate backcountry guide, somebody that does it for a living, has a reputation, is insured, licensed captain, safe boat, and there are plenty of them. And I would book one of these evening drum trips, big drum, and get out in the sound and try it that way. Your odds are really, really good right now. This is some of the best drum fishing we've ever had. And chances are pretty good you're going to catch them that way. And that's where the bite is right now. Mostly in the sound. That's going to stop, from what the experts are telling me, shortly as they all head to the ocean. After they're done fertilizing the eggs that the females have spawned, that's just like a salmon stream. Except that it's 120 miles long and 30 miles across, which is the Pamlico Sound. And before we let you go, we got something really exciting to tell you about next Thursday. My old buddy Justin Bateman and myself are making a trip to one of my favorite places. We'll be over at A&W Sales. That is in Pinetown, North Carolina. That's just outside of Belhaven. And A&W Sales is our new sponsor. They do a lot of stuff over there, too. They have the Bad Boy mowers, of which I'm a happy owner. They have the metal buildings, the dump trailers. They have a House Mercantile Store, which is where Justin and I like to go for our hand-dipped ice cream. Really, really good. All of that is on Seed Tick Neck Road, outside of Belhaven, a couple miles, not very far. And that's in Pinetown. You can look them up at A&W Sales, and you'll find them. We'll be there Thursday the 25th, and we are going to be there with Ricky Radcliffe from Radcliffe Marine, and Shane and the crew from over there, and we are just going to have some fun. I hope you will come out and say hello and visit us on that day. Again, that's Thursday at A&W Sales. So come on out and say hello to us. Say hello to Big Wayne, Little Wayne, Ricky Radcliffe, Shane, all the crew from over in that neck of the woods. One of my very favorite places to go, and I hope to see you there. In the meantime, go out and have fun, catch some fish. Have a great day, and may the good Lord bless you.